All right. Welcome, everybody, once again to the 26th annual 3rd Street Alliance annual Bistro. We're virtual. I'm coming to you from an undisclosed location, which may or not be my basement. And of course, my co-anchor right here is Mr. Archie Coltnow. I'm Bo Coltnow with WFMZ 69 News. I'll be your host once again tonight. And I figured because we're in my basement, you will probably hear this guy, so I just wanted you to see him so you would know who was barking sometimes in the background. So this is Mr. Archie. He's a 4-year-old Cocker Spaniel we've had for about 2 years, got him from a kill shelter in Georgia. He does not leave my side at home, so you may hear him throughout the night, but this is Archie. I'm going to set him down. There you go, buddy. Okay. All right. You guys can see we are virtual once again. Hopefully we'll be in person next year, but this is the 26th year for the Bistro. It started in 1996. In 1996, I was a 17-year-old junior in high school. And I think if I remember correctly, the only way I probably could have gone to a dance, ensured I gone to a dance, was virtually. So my 17-year-old self would certainly envy the 43-year-old me now because we can do this virtual. But again, hopefully next year we can be back at the Easton location because the event is so great. It's so nice to see everybody dressed up in their finest attire. Now, I'm dressed up right now. We want you to be dressed up. So we know it's virtual, but also let's make it fun. Last year, we asked people to tell us what you were wearing. If you were wearing something cool or something fun and you felt like it was wasted because you couldn't be in person. But again, let us know. Tell us what you're wearing in the chat box. We can talk about that throughout the evening. Now, early this morning on my 69 News Saturday morning show, Executive Director Elisa Barada was on. She did great. She was talking about the Bistro. We were previewing it for the viewing audience. And my co-anchor Karen asked me, she said, am I going to wear the entire suit? Or am I just going to wear the jacket, the tie, the shirt, and then shorts, jeans, pajamas on the bottom? And I told her, you'll have to wait and see. Well, the time has come and you'll have to use your imagination. But one thing I am wearing tonight, if you guys can see my tie, I believe that's about an 1890s couple that are heading to a bistro. So I wanted to keep in that theme. So again, if you are wearing something fun tonight, let us know in the chat box. But of course, this is the 3rd Street Alliance most important fundraising event of the year. We want to thank you for being here, for logging in, regardless of where or how we gather. We do it to support the women and children in the community who need us. And this event, of course, it only exists because of the extraordinary generosity of chef and caterer Elizabeth Mulrin, who began the event in the mid-1990s, 1996, like I said, after donating food left over from an event to the shelter. She received so much gratitude for the impact of her donation that she was inspired to become a champion of the 3rd Street Alliance mission. And we thank her very, very much. We just don't get to have your food, Elizabeth. A lot of times when we're at the mansion, we can eat. Not tonight. So next year, of course. It has been 26 years since the first Bistro, and in 1996, $2,400 was raised. To put that into perspective, adjusted for inflation, that's $4,300 In today's money, not bad, but guess what? Last year, over $70,000 was raised because of your generosity, which is just spectacular. And I know this year, times are a little tough. We didn't get that stimulus again. Gas prices are high. Excuse me. It's an itchy nose, folks. In the basement, I got dog hair on me. I apologize. No stimulus. Gas prices are high. Inflation. But guess what? You didn't have to drive anywhere tonight. So that extra money you saved on gas tonight, we're hoping you can donate to the 3rd Street. So tonight, as you watch an update on 3rd Street and learn how we continue to grow to meet our community needs, we hope you see how valuable your support is to us and the women and children we serve. And just like Elizabeth, you continue to make a significant positive impact on our programs, and we hope tonight your generosity will renew our support or renew your support with your generosity. And of course, it's more than just about giving money. There is something in this for you guys at home. That's the fun part, right? There's a 50-50 raffle, so you have to stick around for that. And also our Fund a Need online auction. That goes until 8 o'clock tonight. And that's going to help us reach this $20,000 goal tonight. That's what we want to hit, $20,000. And you can support the 3rd Street Alliance a few ways tonight. The first is our online auction. Again, that's set to close at 8 o'clock. So you still got 54 minutes. You can use your smartphone to view and bid on items. Just text Bistro 2020 to 76278. That's Bistro 2022, not 2020, 2022. To 76278 to get the link to the auction. You can also make a donation by doing the same or by going to bistro2022.givesmart.com. Now, the funds raised tonight go directly to support the programs at 3rd Street Alliance. Now more than ever, we need your help to meet the ever-changing needs of the community, especially as we move out of this pandemic. So we are off to a great start already. Thank you for those who have donated throughout the last few weeks to the Fund a Need auction to start us off tonight. Look at that. We are already at $14,285. I'm not a math whiz, nothing of the sort, but I believe that's 71% towards the goal of 20,000. And we just got a $1,000 donation from Daniel and Jennifer Petrozio. Thank you so much for that. And also earlier, Laura Rothkopf gave $2,000. Thank you for that. John and Dawn Boscia, $2,500. Monica Silgman, $500 for you. Thank you so much. Again, another $500 donation. Mark and Elizabeth Mulrine. But let's just keep this going, guys. I mean, let's get to this 20,000 and beyond, because we're going to take donations all throughout the evening. So before we get to our program, we want to first thank our platinum, gold, and silver level sponsors.
Thank you to our platinum sponsors, the D. Francesca family and Victaulic. Thank you to our gold sponsors, Rose Wealth Advisors, Capital Blue Cross, Crayola, Enjoy with Gusto, Fidelity Bank, Gilbane Building Company, and One Financial Services. Thank you to our silver sponsors, Agentis Kitchen and Bath, Astound Business Solutions, Brown & Brown Insurance of the Lehigh Valley, Fitzpatrick, Lentz & Buba, Attorneys at Law, Kressler, Wolf & Miller, Lehigh Valley Health Network, MCS Industries, St. Luke's University Health Network, and Joyce Welkin. Thank you for your support of the 26th Annual Bistro.
And the support already coming in. We thank you. Archie, you doing good, my man? He's always right next to me. He does not leave my side, folks. And he's been quiet for now. All right. So who is here with us supporting 3rd Street Alliance? We want to know, like I said earlier, we want to know if you're wearing something fun. We want to know if you're having your own little bistro, what you're eating, what you're drinking. I mean, hopefully you made an entire night of this with the family. So leave a comment in the chat box. You can also tag us on social media. Use the hashtag Bistro 2022 ! We want to hear from you. We want to see you. Now, the last year has been very exciting for the Third Street Alliance as the agency navigated the waters out of COVID, as we're moving out of COVID, looking toward a significant expansion of the Learning Center. They want to add 44 spots to that. The agency is committed to bringing high-quality early childhood education to more families in our community. In fact, that's one of the things Executive Director Elisa Barata talked about this morning with me on 69 News at Sunrise. So we're going to hear from Executive Director Elisa Barata and Board of Directors President Diane Dimitrov for more on those changes in this year's State of the Third Street Alliance.
Right. So welcome, Diane. Here we are at Bistro 2022. It's our third virtual Bistro.
Wow.
So I thought maybe the first thing we could do is really talk a little bit about what's happened at Third Street Alliance since the last Bistro.
It is amazing to believe this is our third virtual Bistro, that this time has flown so fast. But let's start by talking about what we did with the money that we raised last year through our Fund in Need.
We did the behavioral health specialist and that program, and we brought a behavioral health specialist on staff in the Learning Center, and that position still exists. We're going on 2 years with that now. It has made an incredible difference to the families we work with. You know, helping families make transitions as their kids are coming into the Learning Center and they have behavioral health needs. We're helping them get additional services. We're helping them interact with the school district. It's been so helpful that we've decided to extend that service into the shelter. So we got a grant this year to do behavioral and family engagement work with families living in our Learning Center, or living in our shelter, who actually have children in our Learning Center as well. So that's going to be a very special niche. Usually there are between 20 and 25 families every year that come through like that. So that'll be a really nice service as we move forward. And one of the things that we've been doing is trying to move people out of shelter way faster. So trying to move folks from staying in shelter for, 4 to 6 months down to 45 to 90 days, and moving people through quickly so that they are out into, safe, affordable rental units. Big challenge in terms of doing that, because as everybody in the Lehigh Valley knows, the cost of real estate is rising and rising, as is the cost of rental units. So many of them are no longer affordable to families who are working class families. It's been a challenge for us, but right now we have 14 families living in rental units that we're assisting, and we have 8 others who are currently actively searching for housing. So we are moving in the right direction, and that needle is moving forward. We've done a great job in developing relationships with landlords. And we've also done a lot of work in terms of eviction prevention. We've worked with Northampton County as one of their tenant navigator agencies and have assisted, oh boy, hundreds, I can't even tell you, 300-400 families. We've put over $4.2 million out on the street in terms of rental assistance to prevent evictions here at Third Street Alliance alone, and other agencies within the county. So a lot of work going on related to shelter and homeless services.
So we know that this year our Fund in Need really is going to focus on supporting the Learning Center, and that the funds that are raised in our Fund in Need campaign will fund our scholarship program for families in the Early Learning Center. That scholarship program, which is named after the Bistro founder, Elizabeth Mulreen. In the past, I think we've raised about $14,000 in our Fund in Need for the Learning Center in 2019. And that's pretty exciting. I'm hoping that we're going to be as successful this year. Can you talk a little bit more about what we do with that scholarship fund?
Sure. So when women are coming back to work or entering the workforce for the first time and need childcare, before they get their job, they need to be able to look for employment. And you need to have safe, affordable childcare so that you can go out into the workforce or even begin to look for a job. Oftentimes, women need childcare subsidies. They're not going to make enough in the work environment to pay for childcare, so they'll need childcare subsidies. The subsidy program works like this. You have to have a job before you get a subsidy. So if you don't have a job and you don't have a subsidy, how do you get childcare? So that's where the scholarship program comes in. We help bridge that gap for the period of weeks, months that it might take to get qualified for the subsidy, because you have to find the job. Then you have to apply for the childcare subsidy and be approved. That process can take anywhere from 30 to 60 days if there are state subsidies available. Sometimes there aren't, so it could take even longer. So we like to make sure that we can help folks at least cover that first week, 2 weeks, possibly up to 30 days through scholarship. Very infrequently do we need to go for that full 30 days because people generally get qualified, and particularly if you're living in the shelter, there's a special, dispensation for you to get qualified a little bit earlier. So we're really helping families back onto the road to economic stability by providing early learning scholarships. So that's what it does for moms, right? What does it do for the kids? It brings them into a place that's a safe, creative, fun environment where they're learning socialization skills, where they're interacting with other children, and where they're really getting access to educational activities that are age appropriate and developmentally appropriate. They're also getting access to, for instance, a vision screening session that we're going to do in April, or a dental, service that we bring on site. And they're getting assistance in terms of how do you make that transition into kindergarten, or they're getting early intervention services because they get assessed and they need speech services, or they need a little bit of socialization assistance. So all of that is what these scholarships really do. The access to early learning has been a real challenge through the pandemic. One of my staff members actually just sent me a piece of documentation today. We know that at least between 30 and 50 learning centers within the Lehigh Valley have closed since the pandemic.
Wow.
So if we think about that and imagine at a minimum, there are 40 kids in each of those programs. And there are probably many more, because at 3rd Street here, our program has access for 130 kids.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at, several thousand childcare slots.
Mm-hmm.
So there isn't enough access to early learning and quality early learning opportunities in the market.
Well, part of our strategic plan had always been to expand access to early childhood learning, and the pandemic has made that need even more significant. So it's really exciting that 3rd Street is now able to move forward in this direction of expanding some of our facilities with the work that the board has done to move forward with the Pool to School project. We're very excited about that, where we will be turning our decommissioned pool into additional classrooms for the Early Learning Center. And we have contracted with Boyle Construction to develop these new classrooms with space for 44 additional children. We're very excited because this really does allow us to expand our support to working families who need quality childcare.
Right. And one of the really exciting things is we're also creating 6 new jobs, which will pay living wages for families from the community who will come to work as teachers and support in the Learning Center. So that's a really big win as well.
That's additional great progress on our strategic plans. When we think about our goals of expanding services to prevent and end homelessness, to expand access to early childhood education, and to ensure living wages to our employees, it really does feel like we're moving that plan forward.
Right. It really is. It's incredible, particularly because we did all this through the pandemic. Right. And we're coming out on the other side, hopefully, knock on wood, right now. So all of this is true. We keep moving forward. And now today and tonight, our goal really is to raise some money to make sure we get new families into the Learning Center and get people back to work so that we can continue economic recovery and economic stability. So let me tell you this, folks. $100 fund-a-need bid will provide one student with before and after care for school-age children for a week. $500 will pay tuition for 2 pre-K children for an entire week. So 2 kids for a week. $1,000 provides toddler tuition for 5 weeks. So it does cost a lot of money to educate kids. We know that, but these scholarships are so tremendously important to make it happen.
We're so excited for this event. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors, to the Bistro Committee and all the members of the Bistro Committee and volunteers who have worked on this, and to all of our donors for your support. And thank you so much to the board, the dedicated board and staff who make all of this happen, from organizing the Bistro to delivering our critical services that prevent and end homelessness, to provide safe and creative early education. Our staff just does amazing work. We're grateful to you in this audience tonight, and thank you so much for all the support that you're giving us to make all of this possible.
Thank you.
So how do you think Diane and Elisa did? Pretty good? Archie says you did pretty good. I figured everybody could use a cute dog break for a second. That might loosen up the old purse strings. All right, there you go, my man. Okay. And there's a chair there. He's okay. He's an athletic dog. As Diane and Elisa just said, this pandemic has really shone a spotlight on just how important childcare is to families in the Lehigh Valley. And in fact, I met a mom, 21 years old, Alizea Jackson. She's got 2 kids, 1 and 3 years old. She's on scholarship for this program. So now both of her kids go to the Learning Center Monday through Friday all day. What this has allowed her to do, it's allowed her to have a full-time job. She's a home health aide, and she's in that predicament. She is a working mom. She makes more than minimum wage, but less than what a livable wage is. And she's kind of in that limbo where she can't get the child subsidy just yet. And so again, this Learning Center helps her out. In fact, she told me if it wasn't because of this, she couldn't have a full-time job because she doesn't have the support network. It's just her. So she had to watch her kids as well. So this has allowed her to have a full-time job, make more money. She said her 1-year-old is reading at a 2-year-old level, and her 3-year-old daughter is just doing off the charts. So that is just such a great example of what this does. So now we're going to check in with some of the online auction stuff. And we want to give a nice shout out to Angelo Strombolis for being the top champion of this year's Bistro, raising more than $2,000 for tonight's Fund-a-Need auction. Thank you, Angelo. You are seeing where your money is going. Thank you for that. So let's see, it's 7:23, so we still have plenty of time for this online auction. If you haven't looked at auction items yet, you can go to Bistro 2022, givesmart.com. It's right there, folks. You can see it. Look at that, Bistro 2022.givesmart.com. So give smart, give often. We are featuring, one of the greatest things we're featuring today is a handcrafted rocker in the shape of an elephant. There it is. I think Elisa said she wanted to get this. Elisa, I think that's what you said this morning, is that you were going to really bid high to get this. I mean, it's in the shape of an elephant. It's handmade by Don Leadham. It's made from solid mahogany wood. And that is certainly a piece that you'll pass down to your grandkids, your great-grandkids, their great-grandkids. Mahogany is the best wood. You can't get better than mahogany. That's why they have like mahogany cabinets, because they're the best. So also, if you have a budding artist in your family, consider putting in a bid for one of 2 Crayola packages. They just gave out a bunch of free crayons this past week. They got a lot of really cool stuff going on there. Or you can bid tickets to the Lehigh Valley Zoo, all the cool animals that they have. You can walk around. It's finally starting to get nice. So that's always a great day at the Trexler Nature Preserve, or the Bee Underwater Bubble Show at the State Theater on April 22nd, 20 days from today. And again, we still have 36 minutes to bid on all of these auctions. The goal is $20,000, but last year we raised $70,000, and we were already at 71% about 20 minutes ago. So we got to keep that momentum going. Again, bistro2022.givesmart.com. And during last year's Bistro, you generously supported Third Street's new behavioral health initiative, which we just heard about. And because of your support, the agency is assisting children in the Learning Center with extra educational and emotional support. Let's take a look at that program 1 year later.
So we had been seeing shorter attention spans and the pro-social behaviors, the way to, how to share, how to ask for help, more being less independent as what we had seen in the past. That was some of what we had been seeing. And then along with the shorter attention span, it was more of transitions were difficult, possibly cleaning up, then going outside on the playground, from going from point A to point B, walking in lines, following directions. That was pretty clear that it had taken a toll on their attention span, but also just this is what I need to do, and follow the directions for the teacher. Our students were not, for the most part, able to self-regulate. They would get really upset quickly and have a hard time coming down from that emotion. So these big emotions, and it takes a lot of time and effort on the child's part, but also our teacher's part, to help them to come down and relax. Yes, we were looking for additional support, so we created our behavioral health specialist position. Ms. Shelley is our behavior specialist. She has worked with all of our classrooms and has gotten to know the routines, the students, the teachers, but then also our families, to reach out to them if they have concerns.
I'll go into the classroom. Sometimes being adult can be very overwhelming. So I'll either sit back and let them come to me, or I will go up to them and play. And a lot of times that's what it is. It's just play. It's, what are you building? What are you playing with? What are you drawing? And then the conversation happens that way, and it slowly builds over time to where I'm someone that they greet when I walk in the door. So it's just kind of meeting them where they're at and not being too overwhelming for them. So I will work with the teachers on goal plans, where we'll talk about what are 2 or 3 goals that we can write down that we believe the child is able to accomplish, but not right away, something that they can work towards. And just having open communication with the teachers and with the kids, if they're able to have that ability to let us know what's going on and what they need, then we work from there. So if a child needs outside resources, whether it's speech or a behavioral evaluation, I can give that information to the parents. So I would consider myself kind of like a broker in that way between the parent and the resource. So as I said, it can be for speech, if that's through the Colonial IU, something like that. A behavioral eval. I've also given some resources for therapy, for play therapy, child therapy, anything like that. One of my newest ones was pediatric feeding therapy. So that also gives me the time to research the different resources in the area, and I'm able to educate myself on what's available for future families. When we see a child needs some extra help, especially to get them to the next level in school, because that's our biggest goal, is to prepare them for the future.
So when our students are self-regulating, they also are able to dive deeper into concepts that they're learning about. So it's not just social emotional that they're learning in our classrooms, but that really needs to be our basis. Once they have those skills and the tools to really help them remain calm and learn and follow directions in our classroom, the whole class can then really dive deeper into the curriculum.
If a child is having a big emotion, that's never the time to teach them about it. We kind of go into how can we calm our bodies, what can we do to relax ourselves. Once they're relaxed, and maybe even the next day, we'll discuss, what was that feeling like? What does it look like? How does it feel in our body? And we'll go through the body. That's also something that I bring to parents too, like if they see it at home. Like if we work on a worksheet where they identify a big feeling and how it affects them, I send that to the parent just to let you know, this is what's going on, this is what we've been working on. If you see it at home, these are some things that they've identified that work for them in these moments with these big feelings. Then it's a constant conversation. So a lot of times we want them to recognize how they're feeling, what it feels like, what it looks like, and how they can help themselves. Whether that is with a coping skill like the bubble timer, or it's a sand timer, or it's a stress ball, something like that, or even if just talking to someone helps them. It's helping them figure out what they can do for themselves, so as they grow older and things happen in life, they're able to sit back and be like, okay, how can I relax my body, get back to a balanced state, what can I do for me?
Our students are having more experience with practicing those social skills. So we recognize that they need that time to practice, to sometimes fail, but also just to know, okay, and we give them gentle reminders of how can you get that toy or how can you ask them. So it's a lot of modeling and getting the input from the other students. And then even for our school agers, it's been having them recognize how they're feeling. What can they do? What helps them? Because as they get older, they recognize that one strategy may work for them and then not for other students. So just tapping into how do I feel? What can I do when it's really a big, strong emotion? And what can I do to make myself feel better? And do that in school and just in life and in the future.
A little guy we have has a lot of energy. And I wouldn't call them outbursts, but he doesn't know what to do with the feelings he has, so a lot of it comes out as physical, and he has learned how to take deep breaths, and when I say little guy, I mean like 2 or 3, so it's like cool to see, especially if I'm leading it or a teacher's leading it, he does it, like it's, and you see it happen, you see his body calm down, and I just think that's one of the coolest things for this small child who has these big emotions and doesn't understand them, to realize this is helping me, this person's helping me do it, and now I'm calm. So I think
All right, we are back live. As you can see, the support you have given to the Bistro's Fund a Need auction allows the 3rd Street to provide vital services to even the youngest members of our community. And you'll find out more about this year's Fund a Need in just a minute. And remember, we still have 27 minutes for that online auction. There's really cool stuff. I even hear there's a really neat kayak. Got some inside information on that. We're taking donations all night, though. So even if the auction closes in now 26 minutes, we're still taking donations till midnight, so plenty of time. So throughout this show, we've been asking, we want to hear from you. Nancy and John Schneider watching from Arizona. So Arizona is 4:34. It's 88 degrees, guys. I'm wondering if you're outside on your patio in shorts and short sleeves. We can't do that just yet in the Lehigh Valley. I know a Diane Colt now from Akron, Ohio is watching. She may or may not be my mom. She did text me. She is watching. She checked out that kayak. Who knows, Mom? Maybe you'll bid on that. Don't know. But again, we want to hear from you. We want to know, what are you wearing tonight? I have on a velvet suit, people. That's what I wore. And I'm in my basement and I have the old 19th century tie with people going to a bistro that's probably in New York Central Park. Who knows? I want to know what you're wearing. Have fun. Let us know. What are you eating? What are you drinking? What are you talking about? It's a bistro. This is fun, right? We're also going to welcome Eddie, James, and Kate, Jackie, Angelo, Sandy, all volunteers for Third Street. Thank you so much. Nonprofits like Third Street could not survive and do what they do unless they had volunteers like you guys. So let's keep these comments coming. I want to know. I want this to be engaging. I'm a news guy. I like talking to people. So I want to hear from you. I want to read from you. So please tell us what you're doing. All right. In 2016, to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Bistro, the Third Street Alliance created the Elizabeth Maureen Scholarship Fund. Now, the fund, which honors the founder of the event, provides scholarship funds to families who need assistance to bridge that financial gap for tuition in the Learning Center while waiting for public benefits to be processed and approved, such as child work subsidies. I told you about the 21-year-old mother who I spoke with earlier this week and how vital this program is to her family, to her kids, not only to have somebody watch them, but also teach them, lay that foundation, because it's so important for young kids to get that educational foundation. It allows her to go out and work full time. These vital scholarship funds allow women to enroll their children, as I just said, in the Learning Center and focus on pursuing stable employment, knowing that their kids are in a safe learning environment. So take a look at this and learn how you can be a part of this important program.
So for all children by the age of 5, a child's brain is about 90% already formed and grown. So with all of the experiences and learning that has taken place from birth through 5, it's really important that all children get the chance to have school opportunities, great interactions with others, and just experience the things that young children are curious about. They also really work on their social skills during that time, which we know is very important for future success just in life as well. And they also learn about a variety of people and different cultures and people other than their own family. They learn to problem solve. So, when they come across a problem, it's really neat to watch them process, okay, how can I get what I need, or what can I do to fix this, whether it's something that they're building, something that they're creating. And they also gain confidence. So they, when they go home at the end of the day, they often will have things to share with their family. They'll have something to give to their family, and they can just sing songs or tell them, I know how to spell my name, and it builds up their confidence that they know I can do these great things and learn so much more. We have many of our families that their child is entered into childcare and they were in the process of looking for work or also going back to school. So some of our families are full-time students and working part-time. Or doing both full-time and being a parent as well. So
so he gets to learn new things. He gets to be able to interact with other children. He learned how to be detached from me because we did have a bit of detachment issues, but like as I've seen, even walking past, seeing him inside class, he does enjoy it and getting to play with kids and learning, all the new things that they provide. He does like come home and tell me about everything, so it's like giving him, time to learn certain things that like I haven't been able to teach him or anything. And then like for me, the benefit of it for me is that like it's affordable. You can get help into the program. And like I said, I'm trying to move and get everything together for me. And it does give me an opportunity to be able to go to work. And he's enjoying it.
we're able to offer these scholarships to our families, I've seen tears and just hugs and thankfulness. So unfortunately, our families are picking and choosing when to pay and how can they pay, and they just say how much it means to them. When the scholarships are awarded to our families, it just goes towards more days and more time that our students are able to be in our classrooms, and our families have a little sense of relief that they are going to be okay for a little bit longer, and it helps them to look to the positive aspect of there's people out there that care about us and our families.
I love how that kid in the video was eating the apple. Did you guys see that? How big that apple was? He was like 2 years old, and that looked like a giant Honeycrisp apple. I mean, a lot of times kids that age, I don't think they even know what fruit is. So good for him. He probably got that from the Learning Center, but I am very, very impressed. That was a big apple, my man, and you're taking a bite out of it. All right, the Elizabeth Mulreen Scholarship will help to provide a way for more kids in our community to access positive early learning experiences. You can help these children tonight again by helping us raise $20,000 for the scholarship fund. This is a bit of a stretch goal for the 3rd Street, so please consider being as generous as you can. So right now on your phone, you're going to get a text message. So check your phones, people. If you don't have your phones by you, get them by you. But I know they're by you. They're part of us now. We're all bionic because of these phones, but a text message is being sent. You can donate to the scholarship fund in a few ways tonight. You can text Bistro 2022 to 76278 and follow the link, or you can go directly to bistro2022.givesmart.com and give online. I have an update on some of these auction items with 18 minutes left. That kayak at last check, $350. $350 for a kayak. These things go for upwards over $1,000. So that's a bargain, but we got to get that a little bit higher. And the elephant, the mahogany hand-carved elephant future family heirloom, that is right now $500. I think that's worth at least 4 figures, folks. So let's get that up. I mean, that's mahogany. That, you can't get better than mahogany. Even Brazilian cherry wood. It has nothing against mahogany. All right, so we want to give some shout outs to people that are donating money. James Hansick, $500, my man. Thank you so much for that. Jackie Matthews, you matched him $500. I'm not a math whiz, but I believe that equals 1,000. Kelly Burke for $100. Thank you for that. And Katie Gensheimer, $450. So let's see, what are we at right now? We are currently at 15,000. We're over $15,000. Morgan Quinn just gave $250. So we're coming along, people. We're almost there, but we want to get more than $20,000 because, again, this helps. You've seen who this helps. So these are the future. I mean, these are kids eating apples. If a kid's eating apples at 2 years old, he's going to cure cancer by the time he's 45 or maybe even before that. So again, top bidding in this evening's Fund a Need begins at $2,000. Childcare costs can vary depending on the age of a kid and the time that scholarship funds are needed. But on average, again, a $2,000 donation will provide the cost of care for one infant for 9 weeks. Your support, again, at the $1,000 level will fund one toddler's tuition for 5 weeks. $500 will fund the tuition for 2 preschool or K-ready students for 1 week, and $100 can provide one student with before and after school care for 1 week. Every little bit helps. It all adds up. So again, please give tonight, folks. Any gift helps. for this amazing scholarship fund. So let's make another check-in with you. Do we have any comments? I'd like to see some comments here. Nancy and John in Arizona are wearing shorts and t-shirts on the back deck. I love it. It is sunny there. It's always sunny in Arizona. I was in Arizona once years ago, and because I'm on the news, I always watch local news. And it was sprinkling in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm not making this up. And they went wall-to-wall coverage. If you've ever seen 69 News snow coverage, how we just go wall-to-wall with it, and it's nothing but snow, that's what they had for rain. And I'm not kidding you. One of the reporters, he was in a helicopter, and I'll never forget this. He said, I can't remember the exact names of the anchors, so I'll make them up. But Ron and Wendy, we have standing water here on 3rd and Poughkeepsie Street, standing water here on 3rd and Poughkeepsie Street. So Nancy and John, I know you guys are not used to the rain, and hopefully it's not happening today. We're glad you're enjoying this on the back deck. But so far, we really haven't gotten many comments about what people are wearing. You guys were better last year with this. You told me what you had on. Still want to know. I'm a fashion guy. I like it. So, you know, because I told you I'm wearing a velvet jacket, you probably could guess I'm wearing the whole thing. I'm wearing the pants, the dress shoes. In fact, I'm wearing dress shoes that are so slick. I'm not kidding. I fell down the stairs as I was coming down to get ready for this. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I thought I broke my arm and I was going to have to call and cancel literally 5 minutes before they wanted me on. But luckily, I'm okay. So if I can admit that to all of you, you can certainly tell me what you guys are wearing. And again, we want to thank our platinum sponsors, Victaulic, the DeFrancesca family, once more this evening for their extraordinary support of 3rd Street Alliance's annual Bistro. There is still 14 minutes left for this silent auction. So let's donate, people. Now it's time for the winner of the 50-50 raffle. Do we have that, guys? How much money is this person going to win? I have the studio. I'm supposed to get some breaking news here any second, guys. How much is the 50-50 raffle tonight? Raffle $1,685. That's a lot. That's a lot of change, folks. That's almost $1,700. I mean, people are pent up with not being able to travel. People want to go places. $1,700 could get you a nice airfare to somewhere where you want to go. So, who's going to win? Who's going to win the 50-50 raffle? We're going to do a drum roll, please. And I have to do this myself, so I'll do some air drumming with that. We have Nicole Heiser. Nicole Heiser, you won $1,685. Congratulations to you. I hope you do something fun with that. That is a lot of fun. So again, before we have a final thank you, I want to remind you that we are close. What's our tally now, guys? We were at about 15,250 a little bit ago, up to $15,335. The goal, $20,000. Morgan Quinn, $250. Thank you so much for your support. $2,500 from Anonymous. Oh, you are a do-gooder, aren't you? You don't even want us to know who you are, but that $2,500 is great. I'm going to destroy that name. So I'm just going to say EV gave us $250. Jacqueline Cooper, $100 from you. Thank you for the Benjamin. Another Benjamin from Vito Loguizzi. I'm terrible with names. I'm not Italian. My apologies, sir, but thank you so much for that. So before we go, we want to have the students. They have a couple words to say to everybody. Let's hear from them now. This is from the students.
Thank you from the infants.
Thank you! Thank you!
All right, before we go, we got to show you this guy again. This will get you donating again. Mr. Archie Colt now, he's the co-host tonight. He's been rather quiet, though. I don't think I've ever heard him this quiet before. I haven't heard a peep out of him. You're a little stage fright, my man. Well, that's all right. he hasn't peed or pooped in the house. So I'll take that as a win. But again, you guys can also, it's not just about you. You can share this link to your friends and family. There's still 11 minutes left. So you can share the Bistro 2022 link to different family and friends all throughout the country, all throughout the world. There's still 10 minutes to bid. So who knows, maybe somebody in Kathmandu needs a kayak and is willing to spend maybe $1,000 on a kayak to help out a good cause. So again, we can share that link with friends and family. There's still 10 minutes to go for this. And on behalf of the 3rd Street Alliance, thanks for logging in tonight. Really, really appreciate it. It's, again, the 26th annual Bistro. 3rd year it's virtual. Hopefully, 3rd time is the charm to not have it be virtual anymore, because it is so much fun to be in person, to have all the great food that Elizabeth makes, and just to be with people, see what you're wearing. You didn't want to tell me what you were wearing tonight. That's okay. I forgive you. You've shown your generosity all evening, and that is what counts. Whether we're sitting in a room together, whether we're in a basement with a dog, whether we're on a deck in Arizona, whether we're on a mountain in Kathmandu, I'm sure there's somebody from Kathmandu watching tonight. It doesn't matter. We are all supporting the 3rd Street Alliance. I interview and I do stories on a lot of different nonprofits with my job. It's a great part of it. 3rd Street Alliance, there's nobody better. The entire staff there is just spectacular for what they do, how needed this is. You've heard how much it's needed. It is just a spectacular cause. And I thank you for allowing me to be part of it. And on behalf of the women, students, and families that you have helped tonight, and a commitment to our work, we are truly grateful, and we consider you part of the 3rd Street family. Again, thank you. Be safe and have a great evening, everybody. There's still 9 minutes to bid. 9 minutes, folks.